My name is Matthew Wells. This is my reflection on my interview for Unit 3, Assignment 2. I found the job quite easy to do in the interview as the questions were straightforward and easy to answer really, because it just outlined what I was going to do in the job, and prior to the interview I had done lots of research to the job, which helped me to do well in the interview as I answered the questions clearly and with long answers, long and detailed answers. That helped me, I think it helped me to get further into the job than other applicants, as I believe I did quite a bit of research about the club before and what the role of the coach will be. It was quite easy to do, as all I had to do was about an hour's worth of research just to get to know what the role does, and I think that'd take me further than other applicants. Next time I would do more research, I think, because I could get further and even better, and this would enhance my chances to get the job, as my experience will be good and my knowledge of the role would also be good. I completed the application form about 2 weeks before the interview. This put my name down for the job and I put my experience in there. I think the experience helped me get the interview, as I am quite a successful coach, and this helped me to get the job as I have more experience than other people, even at grassroots level. And I believe that I could enhance not just my performance but the players' performance as a coach. In the application form, I included my past work experience and my qualifications, like my GCSEs and what I got in school. My past work experience was working in a primary school as a PE teacher, and I also have worked as a coach at a grassroots level and been quite successful in that. I made my skills knowledgeable to the interviewer, as this would help me get the interview. As I said, I'm a good leader, I'm organised and I'm committed, but even more with just that, I believe these skills helped me get further in the process of getting the job, and it also helped me to even get the interview at first. And then in the interview I had my notes ready, and I believe that showed the interviewer that I was already organised, and that would help me with proving to them that I'm already organised, as not many people would have notes for the interview, as they might have not known what the role consisted of, as I did the research prior to the interview. My verbal communication was effective, as I gave clear answers and they understood every word I said to them, as I spoke clearly, slowly, just to make sure that if there was any difficulties that they couldn't hear me, that they could hear me and they knew what I was saying and they understood. This proves to the interviewer that I am clearly spoken and should be good in leadership, as I make sure everyone understands what I'm saying and what I'm doing. And I explained this to the interviewer. I said I give one-on-one coaching sessions with players that need help with certain skills, and I do this by explaining, but not just explaining, by demonstrating as well, what they would need to do to enhance that. This would help them improve their skills and also improve their weaknesses, which is what we're trying to improve. This would help the team collectively be more successful, and that's what this job is about: winning and enhancing players' ability, but also making sure they have fun. As when you don't understand a drill, you might not be having the best time, as you can get quite frustrated when you don't get it. I think my non-verbal communication was not effective, as my legs were shaking a lot throughout the interview because I was quite nervous, as this job was my dream to get, as I said in the interview, I was a fan of the club and it was my dream to get the job, or a job there. This might have shown them that I might not be good in high pressure situations, like trying to decide tactics for cup finals, but I believe in my experience and the skills that I have to carry me through that and not buckle under the pressure when it's needed. That non-verbal communication proved to the interviewer that I may not be suitable for the job, but I believe that the skills I showed before did prove to the interviewer that they would not have to worry about that. My organisation and preparation was effective, as I understood the job before the interview even happened, as I did research about the club, well, not just the club, about the role, about the academy and what the coaches do there. I also did a bit of research about the facility and that it's all together in one and not like other clubs where it's quite separated. For example, the Manchester City, the club I'm applying for, its facilities are all very close together compared to Manchester United, where its training ground and its stadium are quite far apart. My organisation and preparation was effective, as I was very organised for the interview, as I had all the notes I had needed to help answer the questions and also to help additional questions along with that they asked. To be more organised and better prepared, I could have done more research into the club about the specific team I was trying to go for. However, I don't think this was needed, as they didn't disclose what age it was going to be in the application form. However, it didn't matter that I didn't need that, as I believe with any age group I'd be able to take them to success and hopefully get the players better and enhance their skills to try and get them into the first team, like other players have in the past, as where they've gone all the way throughout the academy and played for the first team for Manchester City. I demonstrated my skills in the interview, as they asked me what was my biggest strength and what was my biggest weakness. For my biggest strength, I said my leadership, as I had taken a level 2 sports leadership course, and I believed I'd done very good on that, as I had led events all year and also understood what skills is needed to lead. For my biggest weakness, I said literacy, and I said I would take online courses to improve my spelling and grammar, as those were the biggest weak points for me. The impact this had on the interviewer was that they saw I was committed to improving my weaknesses, and they also saw that my leadership skills were quite good, as they saw how I would demonstrate my skills to the players. Next time, I could say additional skills instead of just the 2 they asked for. However, I don't think that was necessary, as they didn't ask for them, they only asked for 2. biggest strength and the biggest weakness. Those questions help me realize what is my biggest strength and what is my biggest weakness, as you might not think about that as you go into a job. You go into that because you'd favour of what you're good at, and then you wouldn't favour what you're not good at, and you'd stay away from what you're not good at. But at the club, you would want to improve that, and then make sure you understand what your weakness is, so you can improve your weaknesses. For the action plan, one of my weaknesses is IT skills. To improve this, I'm going to do some online courses to help me get better at IT. This will help me as the club is quite advanced in technology, as they have lots of technology with distance covered and other stuff like blood things with the vests to help players. I will improve this by the first few months of the job. Another weakness I have is my non-verbal communication, for example, my body language. To improve this, I am going to speak to myself more often and come across more confident with my body more than my words. This will help me to, if I had another interview after the job, that would help let the interviewer see how confident I would be in the job and how committed I am. And I would do this if I wouldn't have to do it if I didn't leave the job, but if I did, I'd have to do it at the end of the job. The first skill that I developed through the entire interview process was my confidence. As soon as I went in, I was quite confident about how it would have gone, and I developed this as soon as the first question was asked. I believed that my research was effective, as I understood how to answer the question to the interviewer's liking and to give them an answer that would help me get the job. If I hadn't developed this skill, I don't think I would have got the job, as the interviewer needs a coach who is confident in their own skills than their own weaknesses as well, as they would need to be able to improve on their weaknesses to help make the club better and make the players better in the teams. An example of this is when I shook the people's hands. I feel like I can import a confident handshake and a strong handshake that came across as I'm here for the job and I would do anything for it. Another skill I developed through the interview process was effective verbal communication, as when I was reading the notes, I was also remembering them, making sure I spoke clearly and slowly to make sure that they understood what I was saying and what it meant. So for example, when I'm talking now, I'm talking slowly and having gaps just to make sure they understood what I was saying, and I wasn't talking really fast where they wouldn't know what I was saying. And this would have helped me get the job, as they would have seen how I can explain things to people and how clear it will be. This will affect me on applying jobs in the future, as they will also see how effective I am in speaking and how it would be effective to employ me, as I can explain things clearer and more effective than other people. The process before the interview included me researching the job and looking at the job spec and the person spec these requirements made me believe in myself, as I believed I had these requirements and I filled up to them. This would help me get the job, as I believed that I had the requirements to get the job and that I wouldn't not get it. By preparing for the interview, I had a CV, cover letter and application form all filled out. Each document was filled out to the full max, making sure I had all the experience I have on there and qualifications I have. This would help me get the job, as I believe I was very qualified for the interview and the job, and making sure the interviewer would understand why they should hire me and not someone else.